The DNA results said my daughter was not biologically related to me. That was expected. But the second line was not. Estimated biological relationship to Daniel Mercer, parent and child, 99.99%. Daniel was my husband, and the little girl we had adopted 8 years earlier was his biological daughter. For years, I had called their similarities a miracle. That night, they became evidence. 5 years before Sophie came into our lives, Daniel and I had started trying for a baby. At first, it was exciting. We painted the spare bedroom pale yellow. Daniel assembled a crib before I was even pregnant. Then came the negative tests, the doctor visits, the injections, the surgeries. Every month ended with me sitting on the bathroom floor, staring at another empty pregnancy test while Daniel held me and whispered, "We'll find another way." He was patient when I became angry. He attended every appointment, learned every medication, and defended me when relatives asked invasive questions. When our final fertility treatment failed, Daniel cried harder than I did. 3 months later, he came home carrying an adoption brochure. "There's a private agency called Bright Path," he said. "My colleague's sister used them." He placed the brochure in my hands as if it were something sacred. On the cover, a newborn slept beneath the words, "Families are chosen by love." I trusted Daniel completely. We completed interviews, background checks, financial reviews, and home visits. Our case coordinator, a polished woman named Vanessa Cole, called Daniel more often than she called me. "She knows I'm better with paperwork," he explained. Then, one Tuesday morning, Vanessa phoned us. A baby girl had been born. The birth mother had chosen us. We met Sophie at a small private clinic 2 hours away. She was wrapped in a white blanket. Her cheeks were pink, and her fingers were tiny. Daniel made a sound somewhere between a laugh and a sob. She knows me, he whispered. I thought he meant it poetically. For 8 years, Sophie was the center of my life. She hated peas, loved thunderstorms, and refused to sleep unless I sang the same song 3 times. When she was afraid, she immediately ran and hid behind me for emotional support. At 2, Sophie developed a dusting of freckles. Daniel had the same thing. By the time she was 4, I noticed her curls looked just like Daniel's. At 6, she sneezed in pairs and laughed afterward, just like him. Friends joked that adoption had somehow copied Daniel's genes. Love is stronger than biology, Daniel would say, pulling Sophie against his side. It sounded beautiful. The first red flag came when Sophie needed her birth certificate for school. BrightPath had closed without warning. Its website disappeared. Vanessa's phone number had been disconnected. Daniel became unusually tense. I'll handle it, he said. The second red flag arrived inside an old photo album. I was organizing our closet when a picture slipped from between 2 pages. It showed Daniel at a lakeside restaurant 9 years earlier. A woman stood beside him. She had dark hair, a heart-shaped face, and blue eyes, the color of Sophia's. On the back, someone had written, Daniel and Claire, October 14th. October 14th was the date Daniel had told me he was attending a 3-day legal conference. I carried the photo downstairs. Who is Claire? Daniel looked at it for less than a second. A former client. Why are you holding her waist? She was drunk. I was helping her stand. He kissed my forehead. You're tired, Anna. That night, the photograph disappeared. I began noticing other things. Daniel kept the key to his home office on his body. He took phone calls in the garage. He insisted on collecting Sophie's medical forms himself. Eventually, I stopped confronting him, but I did not stop looking. My best friend Maya worked as a nurse at the hospital where I had received fertility treatment. She was the only person I told. You're relying on instinct and resemblance, she said. What you actually need are facts. She helped me order a home DNA kit under the excuse of building a family ancestry tree for Sophie's school project. I used Sophie's toothbrush. For Daniel, I used the mouthpiece from his old running bottle. Then I waited. The results arrived 6 weeks later. Parent and child, 99.99%. Daniel was at a company dinner. He had texted that he would return around midnight. I had 102 minutes to find out how deep the lie went. I searched his office keyring while Sophie slept. Nothing. Then I remembered the brass music box Daniel had bought her on the day the adoption was finalized. He never allowed Sophie to play with it unsupervised. It's fragile, he always said. I took it from the shelf and turned it over. A tiny key was taped beneath the velvet base. My hands went cold. The key opened Daniel's office. Inside, everything was neat. Too neat Files aligned by color, pens facing the same direction. No photographs, no personal objects. I searched the desk using the brass key. Inside lay Sophie's original hospital bracelet, Baby Girl Rivera. Beneath it was a stack of letters tied with string. The first was addressed to Daniel. The handwriting was shaky. You said you would tell your wife. You promised our daughter would know the truth. It was signed, Claire Rivera. I never agreed for you to pretend she was a stranger's child. I agreed to adoption because you said Anna knew everything and wanted to raise her with you. My vision blurred. Claire had known my name, and she had believed I knew. Another letter contained a copy of a check made out to Vanessa Cole for $30,000. Across the front, Daniel had written, "Do not contact us again." I photographed every letter. I placed the DNA result beside them and took more pictures. Then I heard the front door open. Daniel was already home. Anna? His voice carried through the hallway. The office door opened before I reached it. Daniel stood there, rein on his shoulders, staring at the unlocked drawer. Then he looked at my face. "What did you do?" I held up the DNA result. "Sophie is your daughter." He did not deny it. He slowly closed the office door behind him. "Keep your voice down. You had an affair. It was one mistake. You adopted your own child without telling me. I gave you what you wanted." The words hit like a slap. "You gave me what I wanted?" "You wanted a baby," he said. "Claire couldn't raise one. I found a solution." "A solution?" His mask cracked. For the first time, I saw not the patient husband or devoted father, but a man furious that his design had been disturbed. "You were falling apart," he snapped. "You couldn't eat. You couldn't sleep. Every room in this house felt like a funeral. Sophie saved you. You used my infertility to hide your affair. I protected this family." I stepped toward the door. He blocked me. "Anna, think carefully. If you expose this, Sophie loses everything. She loses a lie." He held out his hand. "Give me the letters. We'll talk tomorrow." I tried to move past him. He caught my wrist. I screamed. Upstairs, Sophie was already awake. She approached and peeked at us with curiosity. "Mom, what's happening?" she asked. Daniel knelt and opened his arms. "Mom is having a difficult night." I ran for my phone. He grabbed it first and threw it against the wall. The screen went black. My first attempt to expose him ended before I reached the front door. Daniel took Sophie upstairs and locked her bedroom from the outside. Then he returned, holding my purse and car keys. He opened my purse and removed my passport. On the table beside him were 2 airline tickets, one for Daniel, one for Sophie. Departure, 6:40 a.m. "You're taking her? Only until you calm down." "You'll never get permission," I said. Daniel placed a document on the table. It was a notarized letter with my signature authorizing international travel. The signature was perfect. It was also forged. "You have until 5 in the morning," he said. "Behave and agree that Sophie needs space from you. Otherwise, we leave." Then he locked me inside the guest room. For several minutes, I sat on the floor, shaking. The window was painted shut. The door had no keyhole on my side. My phone was broken. Below me, I heard the paper shredder running in Daniel's office. Evidence disappearing. I checked the letters under my shirt. They were gone. Daniel had taken them during the struggle. I had only the photographs, but they were trapped on my dead phone. Then I remembered Sophie's school tablet. She kept it beneath her bed because Daniel limited her screen time. The guest room shared a ventilation duct with her bedroom. When we renovated the house, Sophie and I used to whisper through it as a game. "Sophie," I whispered. A few seconds later, her frightened voice answered, "Mom?" "Listen carefully. Get your tablet. Don't let Dad hear. Open the family photo app." My phone automatically backed up new images whenever it connected to our home network. The photographs were there, so was something else, a video. During the confrontation, my camera had activated when Daniel threw the phone. It had recorded from the floor for 11 minutes. The tablet chimed, message delivered, footsteps moved downstairs. Daniel was coming. "Sophie, put the tablet back." Then the guest room door opened. Daniel stood there with a glass of water. His face was calm again. I destroyed the letters. "You're going to sign a statement saying you had an emotional episode after seeing an inaccurate DNA test. And if I refuse, we'll leave at 5. He placed the statement and a pen on the bed. Daniel needed every person in the room to accept his version of events. He did not simply want to escape consequences. He needed me to admit he was right. so I lowered my eyes. What happens if I sign? His shoulders relaxed. We can repair this. And Claire? His jaw tightened. Daniel had told me during the adoption that Sophie's birth mother wanted no contact. He had told Claire that I knew the truth. Then he had cut both of us off from each other. I pretended to cry. I need to understand, please, before I sign. He sat beside me. For the next 10 minutes, I let him explain. He had met Claire during a conference. Their affair lasted almost a year. When she became pregnant, she threatened to tell me. Daniel convinced her that I was too emotionally fragile to survive the truth. He paid Vanessa to arrange a private adoption through Bright Path. Claire signed because Daniel promised we would raise Sophie together honestly. After the adoption, he intercepted every letter. When Claire tried to contact the agency, Vanessa threatened her with legal action. Daniel told the story with pride. When he finished, he handed me the pen. I signed. Then I gave him the paper. "You made the right decision," he smiled. "No," I said. "You just made yours." The guest room closet door opened. Maya stepped out holding her phone. Daniel's face emptied. She had entered through the back door using the emergency key I had given her years earlier. Sophie had unlocked the guest room while Daniel was printing the statement. Maya had recorded everything. But she was not the only ally. 2 police officers were waiting outside. Daniel tried to regain control even then. But I already handed them his recorded confession, the forged travel consent, the DNA result, and the payment records. Daniel was arrested for unlawful restraint, evidence destruction, and his role in the fraudulent adoption process. Vanessa was found 3 states away and charged months later. Claire contacted me through Maya. Our first conversation lasted 12 minutes. For the first 6, neither of us could stop crying. The court did not take Sophie away from me. I was her legal mother, and I was the person who had raised her every day of her life. Claire did not try to replace me. She started with letters, then phone calls, then short visits in a therapist's office. Sophie now calls her Claire. Sometimes she calls her my other mom. I am learning that love does not become smaller when the truth enters the room. For years, I believed Daniel had rescued me from the grief of infertility by helping me become a mother. The truth was darker. He did not give me a daughter. He used my love to hide the daughter he had stolen from the truth.